the Nashua Board of Education Candidate Forum. My name is Annabella Tavares.
And my name is Nitin Venkatramanan.
We are delighted to bring you this forum, which is produced and broadcasted by students from both the Nashua North and Nashua South high schools. The goal of this forum is to inform voters of candidates' positions and opinions on issues that impact students throughout the district.
This forum will consist of 4 parts. In round 1, each candidate will have 1 minute to introduce themselves and explain why they are running for a position on the Nashua Board of Education. In round 2, students from our AP Government and Politics classes will ask questions to the candidates based on research they have conducted. Each candidate will have 1 minute and 15 seconds to respond to each question. In round 3, the moderators will ask additional questions generated by the students. Candidates will once again have 1 minute and 15 seconds to respond. In the 4th and final round, each candidate will be given 30 seconds to make their closing remarks. Finally, we please ask that the candidates stay within their allotted time limit for responses. When you hear the bell ring, this means your time is up and you should conclude your response. It is our pleasure to introduce you to our candidates.
We will start by having the candidates introduce themselves and explain why they are running for a seat on the Nashua Board of Education. We will start with Jennifer Bishop and continue alphabetically down the row. Ms. Bishop.
Thank you. You guys have an excellent setup here, and thank you for inviting all of us. My name's Jennifer Bishop. I am running for re-election for the Nashua Board of Education. I want to continue to support the district in the innovative practices that we're seeing now. Our CTE programs, our academics, our staff is excellent. I want to continue to see the district move into a direction where we are meeting the needs of all of the students so that we're growing kids into adults that they're proud of. I want to continue to help support the teachers and the staff in providing the excellent education that they're already providing, and I want to make sure that we have top-notch technology and supports for the students to learn by. That was under a minute, sorry.
Ms. Daniels-Williams.
So my name is Shawanda Daniels-Williams, and I'm running for the Board of Education because I want to make an impact on the community. I want to bring community into the Board of Education. I am a lifetime learner, and I believe in the power of education to transform the community. I am so proud of what the students are doing, and I want to just be that helping hand.
Thank you. Ms. Giglio.
Hi, I'm running for re-election to the Board of Education. I'm a retired school librarian who began my career in education as a para in one of the Nashua schools and then went back to school to become a school librarian. I currently still volunteer at Broad Street School where my grandchild attends. And I feel like I've made a difference during these past 4 years on the board, and I really look forward to the challenges that are coming. I'm especially anxious to see us fill all the positions that we have so that our students and staff have enough support to do the wonderful programs that are in place. And I look forward to quality education, and I'm a lifelong supporter of public education.
Thank you. Ms. Hohensee.
Thank you. I'm Doris Hohensee. I'm running for school board. I am a former member. 4 years ago I was on the board. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I have 6 children, they're grown, and here's a point of history. A long time ago, one of the first education laws was the old Satan deluder law, where not only did they teach you at that time to read the Bible because there was no separation of church and state, but they didn't want you deluded by Satan. So the point is, and now when we have the separation, is learning not just how to read, write, and do arithmetic, but learn how to critically analyze so that you're not deceived by others, so that you can be an independent person. And the mission of the school is to produce graduates that can self-govern. So to have a self-government, you need educated people that are critical thinkers. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us all here today. My name is Paula Johnson. I'm a current member of the Board of Education, and I'm running for re-election because of the upcoming redistricting of the elementary school students and overseeing the costs and whether we can keep Mount Pleasant open or we can utilize that building in other ways as some type of an alternative center. We need someone with experience and expertise, someone who can ask the tough questions like I do all the time, even though I lose a lot of times in the votes. With the students' enrollment decreasing, we must review all the schools and evaluate any future consolidation plans, and I suggest that everybody please read the redistricting report from Mr. Preston Smith at Nashua.edu, who we hired to do the redistricting. So these are difficult questions, and also I'd like to continue seeing a lot of the new CET programs here for our students who choose not to go on to college. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson?
Hi, I'm Rob Johnson. I am a graphic designer. I have my own business in Nashua. I have 2 kids here at South, sophomore, junior, and a senior. Big reason I'm running is I want to see more communication. I feel that a lot of people don't understand what's going on behind the scenes at the board and want to know more about what's going on. I also feel that teachers, parents, and especially students should have a say in what is happening in our schools. It's very important that everyone has their message and it gets across to the board and we filter it to the school. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Prin?
Hi, my name is Kirsten Prin, and I've never run for anything before, but I'm running today because I really do want to be a person of service. I am a public school teacher, have been a public school teacher for over 25 years. I've worked in a variety of different places, and this desire comes from a wanting to give back. It feels that in the last few years, prior to COVID, and even more since COVID has happened since the pandemic, there's been a lot of friction between families and schools and parents, and I feel that I could help bridge that gap. I have a lot of knowledge of curriculum, and I want to be able to support teachers and students as best I can. I realized I couldn't idly stand back and not do something when I know I'm a person who can be of service and help.
Thank you. Ms. Whitaker?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kimberly Whitaker. I have 3 children in the school district and going through. I've worked here at South, go Panthers. I came to school here at South, so I'm a longtime Nashua resident. I'm running for the Board of Education to be a voice to parents, teachers, and students, ensuring that we reach our goals for building a stronger, safer place for our students to learn and a place where students can thrive academically and socially and ultimately become contributing members of our community right here in Nashua. So once you all graduate, come back and just be good people and show how great Nashua is and will always be.
Thank you all for your introductions.
We will now begin round 2, where students will ask the candidates questions. Each candidate will have 1 minute and 15 seconds to respond.
Ms. Bishop, in a recent interview with The Patch, you said that you will continue to ensure that our academic content is factual and rigorous. How will you accomplish this as debates regarding educational content remain so divisive?
That's a good question. I think we need to be looking at curriculum that's provided to us from accredited agencies, from universities that are doing research that is non-biased. We need to be looking at the reading material that we're giving students, making sure that it's based in science. Obviously, the element of critical thinking that Ms. O'Hensey brought up before is important, and we need to be able to ensure that we're giving students both sides of an argument if we're going to be teaching them critical thinking, but also information that's based in academia from accredited universities and research agencies.
Thank you for your response. Next, for Ms. Daniels-Williams.
As you have experience helping people with mental health concerns, do you have any thoughts about implementing and supporting mental illness programs in Nashua School District?
Thank you. That's a great question. Absolutely. I think that since COVID in 2020, there have been major community mental health concerns, not only in the schools, but in our children. So I do believe that there should be more supports in the school for mental health concerns as well as special education.
Thank you for your response. Next, for Ms. Giglio.
Mrs. Giglio, given your position that the Nashua School District is facing inadequate staffing levels, how will you approach increasing staff to more optimal levels?
Okay, I think one of the things that we need to do is make sure that we're advertising the positions that are open. We've made some progress since a year ago in terms of how many open positions we have. I think we need to reach out, we need to promote the district a little more, and I think we need to do everything we can to retain the people who are exemplary educators at all staff levels. And I'm hoping that by doing that, we will have more people come. I have been chairperson of the HR committee for the Board of Ed, and we have done many interviews and a lot of hiring, particularly of administrators over the past few years. But we're very aware and work closely with the HR department on what openings there are and to see what needs still exist. Thank you.
Thank you for your response. Sorry. Next, for Ms. Hohensee.
You've stated that you want parents to have a greater voice in the public school system. Please give an example of what you envision as a greater voice for parents.
A greater voice for parents or students? Parents. Oh, that's simple. When parents come to board meetings, we should welcome them. We should listen to them. They are our constituents. They voted us in, taxpayers too, not just parents. But we've developed the school district to serve our community, to serve those children, to serve the greater need of producing graduates as that can be self-governing. But sometimes parents come and they feel like they speak and nobody listens to them, or they're rushed and they're not given enough time. So I think it's simple. It's just work with parents, respect parents, and they'll see it.
Thank you for your response. Next, for Ms. Johnson.
Are you planning on returning as the chairwoman for President Trump's campaign in Nashua during the 2024 election? If so, do you feel that this role could distract you from your school board responsibilities?
Thank you for that question. That's an excellent question. Now, I'm just a volunteer on the campaign. I'm not doing anything as a chairwoman. They have not asked me to be the chairwoman. And my first priority has been the Board of Education and always will be the Board of Education. But I thank you for that question because everybody knows that I am a huge Trump supporter. Thank you.
Thank you for your response. Next, for Mr. Johnson.
In a recent Patch interview, you stated that you will represent the interests of students as they negotiate concerns with administration. How will you accomplish this goal?
Thank you. That's a good question. Ideally, I would like to be able to talk directly to students, to the student government, to obviously the student representation on the board, to make sure that the students' message is heard, as they are just as important as the parents and as teachers. They're all part of the community, and they should have the same voice as the other people.
Thank you for your response. Next, for Ms. Prin.
Across American schools, vaping presents a major health concern for students. How would you propose to address this issue in Nashua schools?
Gosh, I would think that it's not something that should be allowed on a campus. We, ironically, being of a certain generation, I grew up in a time when we actually had smoking sections in our schools, but it has long since phased out, and I don't think that it's an appropriate thing for kids to be doing in schools. Aside from what they would be doing outside, I don't think we have any precedent over that, but definitely would not be something that should be allowed at schools, vaping.
Thank you for your response. Next, for Ms. Whitaker.
How do you propose that the Nashua School District becomes more transparent in communications with families?
That is a great question. I think the best thing is open the doors more, allow parents to ask questions and see what's going on within the school. Because as a parent, I ask my children every day, each one of them, how is school today? Same response, good. That's not enough, and as a parent, I do want to know more. I want to know more about the curriculums that are coming in and things that they are learning in the school. So I would propose just opening up more than just online communication, maybe send papers home, have bulletin boards. I think that's the best way so far.
Thank you for your responses.
We will now begin round 3, during which questions are asked by the moderators. First, for Ms. Bishop. As a parent of a high school junior in Nashua, how do you feel that our district has prepared her for college and post-secondary life?
That is a fantastic question. I'm actually really hands-off with my kids and their academics, so everything that she has on her right now, tools in regards to education, has solely come from the school district. I'm not one to check homework. I give them their own space. So everything that she is really a reflection of the teachers that she's had. I really think that she can conquer the world. She's sassy and smart and does sports, and I can't say enough good things about my kids, but she is a product of the Nashua school system. I just give her a roof and food, and she shows up here and does everything that she needs to do. But if I had a choice, I would have her stay in Nashua forever and live with me forever and continue on, in this school district, but that's not what she's going to do, which is sad. But I think everything that she has is from the school district, and she's a straight A student, AP student, varsity sports. I had nothing to do with that, I just feed her. So thank you for that question.
Thank you for your response. For Ms. Daniels-Williams, there's support in some districts for moving to a 4-day school week. In your opinion, should the Nashua School District move to a 4-day week?
That is a great question. So, I would lean to the board on what they would support, but I wouldn't necessarily support a four-week school. It would be hard for the families, for the communities, also for the students. That would put a lot of pressure back onto them. It's hard enough for them to come to school 5 days a week in the blocks of classes that they have and maintain not only the work, but I just think that would put too much pressure on our students.
Thank you for your response. Next, for Ms. Giglio. How would you suggest expanding opportunities to inspire students so that they would be successful both academically and in later life?
I think that we need to offer the students everything that we possibly can. So I'm concerned that they have plenty of what they need for academics, which they do. I also think that they need to have an opportunity to participate in the arts, music, athletics, because I think that each student will find one thing that really motivates them to come to school and to succeed. And I think that interest, as followed through when we offer all these opportunities, is something that may develop into their career path. I myself have a daughter who went through the school system and did a lot of music and became a music teacher. So I have a lot of faith in letting each student find what their niche is, to find out exactly what makes them happy and what they think they would like to do more of. I think there's room for experimentation there, and I appreciate that we offer that.
Thank you for your response. For Ms. Hohensee, during your previous term on the Board of Education, you were censored and some of your colleagues called for your resignation after you reshared a Facebook post from a student in the Nashua School District. If elected again, how would you handle issues of student privacy and confidentiality differently?
Thank you for the question. There was a big upsetment over it. It wasn't I didn't share any private information. It was a public post shared by others. The concern was the ROTC marksmanship program that unanimously passed the board. And then this student came at the end. She was over 18. She was, getting into the world of politics. And she got some negative comments. And I'm sorry that happened, but it's certainly not my fault or anybody's fault other than those who did it. And the end result was the marksmanship program got pushed off campus. They were going to do practice, I think, once a week behind the school when students were mostly gone, and they were pushed down Broad Street, and I think that club has moved since, so I don't even know if it goes. I think it was a lot of emotional excitement, and we have to think of both sides, and I think the ROTC students got the short end of the stick that time.
Thank you for your response. Next, for Ms. Paula Johnson. How do you plan to balance budgetary constraints following the significant investment in the new middle school?
That's a great question. You know, the middle school was built without doing any surveys and checking to see what the student population was. We have a declining population here in Nashua, and we built a huge middle school. I truly felt that if we had done our homework, we probably could have retrofitted Fairgrounds Middle School and Pennachuck Middle School, and probably not have built the school. So over the next several years, we're going to have to check and see, with the declining population, what is our needs really going to be. I am a fiscal conservative. I do check the numbers. I was the chair of the budget committee. I did not vote on the budget because I felt that the money isn't being appropriated exactly where it needs to be, and we really going to have to sit down, roll up our sleeves with the budget, and really look to see how are we going to make sure we can make the money work between all these schools with a declining population. Thank you.
Thank you for your response. For Mr. Johnson, how did your time serving on the New Searles PTO impact your views on parent participation in education and the concerns of the elementary community?
Thank you. Tremendously. It was definitely eye-opening to the sense of community that PTOs could do. And our interaction with the teachers and with especially the principal, and really knowing what was going on and what the school needed and how the PTO could help raise funds for those things. We did tremendous work getting whiteboards into all the classrooms. We revamped the pre-K playground. And plus all the events we did. I used to run a movie night in New Searles soccer field where we would get hundreds of kids and parents there to watch a movie. And it was just a great sense of community, and it really worked well in, and that's really the biggest thing a school is, especially at the elementary level, is it's a part of your community. That's why I don't want to see any schools closed, because it goes past the students, it goes past the teachers, it's the whole community that lives in that area that depend upon that school.
Thank you for your response. Next, for Ms. Prin. In a recent interview, you mentioned that teachers need access to quality teaching materials. How do you plan to prioritize these materials while also allocating enough funds to competing resources?
So it is really important for teachers to have the tools for their jobs. I know specifically in curriculum, what's been happening on the elementary level is there's been a lot of curriculum pulled. For example, I know where I teach and also here in Nashua, we're still using the Lucy Calkins writing program. And Lucy Calkins herself has had to step down from the College of Teaching where she was because of just issues with the quality of her curriculum. It needs to be a priority for classrooms to have the tools. Teachers need the tools. I think that if we invest initially in the things that the teachers can use to help support students, then later on we don't have to spend so much on other things later on. It's the whole return on investment and early investment in our students.
Thank you for your response. For Ms. Whitaker, what measures would you take to address issues such as poverty, hunger, and emotional concerns that impact students in our schools?
I love that question. Currently, myself, my daughter, sitting over there, we volunteer at Toll Street Mission, where we do feed our community twice a week. I've, at New Searles, been part of their food pantry, Mount Pleasant, sorry, part of their food pantry. Another reason that our community schools are important, because as the elementary schools grow, the teachers and staff see needs for students individually, not necessarily the school as a whole. So just being able to be in the community and see where the needs are needed and being able to fill those needs is just part of my community service that I want to let out. So if there is any needs, then people know that I have resources that I can give out. So there's that.
Thank you for your responses. We would now like to ask the candidates to give their closing remarks. Candidates, we would appreciate it if you keep your closing remarks to no more than 30 seconds.
Starting with Ms. Bishop.
Okay, I didn't want to jump the line. So again, my name is Jennifer Bishop. I'm a current board member. I've really enjoyed the work that we've been doing on the Board of Education. I'm also a mom in the district from Nashua. I went through the Nashua school system. I want to continue to do my best and provide the students and the teachers with the best. It's been fun. And I think we've gotten back to a good routine. And I appreciate all of the parents and teachers and staff that reach out to me and talk to me about their concerns, and I'm able to relay it to the board.
Thank you. Ms. Daniels-Williams.
So I just wanted to thank Nashua South for inviting us here, for putting this on. This is my first opportunity to publicly speak. I think that this is a great example of what our children can do. You know, the ages, the diversity, everything that's in this room, the skill levels. I'm thankful that this is what the Nashua students have been able to do with public school education, and I'm a strong supporter of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Giglio?
Hi. I want to continue a safe, nurturing environment for all of our students and staff. I think that we need to continue to support our students for success. I think there needs to be a lot of good team collaboration between all of us who are involved in educating our children. And I actually think that we need to continue to meet the needs of the whole student. And so I again, say how important arts, athletics, academics, everything is to reach that. And I am happy for our SEL programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hohensee?
Thank you. Thank you for setting up this forum. I think one of the most important things we can do for our constituents, if elected, is to provide them with transparency. For example, we have non-public meetings by law, and sometimes there's a need for that when you're hiring somebody to keep things private. Personal information should remain private. But we shouldn't seal all non-public meetings permanently. Other districts, other towns, they unseal their minutes. It's a show of faith, it's a show of working with the community to not go into these meetings and just lock down.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson?
Thank you very much, and I want to thank all the students here again for inviting us, and this is what we can show our community, how great our students are and what they want to do. I'm asking for the community to vote for me because I'm experienced, fiscally responsible, long-standing advocate, and I'm here for the students and will represent them ongoingly like I have done for the last 4 years. I truly believe in parental rights and open government and transparency in our schools. And I'm not looking to close any schools. I'm looking to see what we're going to do over the next several years with our budget. Thank you very much for letting us be here today.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you all for your questions. Thank you to the other candidates who are running. It's been an amazing experience. Hopefully we didn't bore you guys too much. I just say that ask people to vote for me. If you see Severin or Finn, tell them I say hi, and go Panthers lacrosse.
Thank you. Ms. Prin?
First, I want to thank you for this forum today. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little terrified. But this is an amazing, I love to see what the Nashua schools are doing. My son, I am actually a parent, my son is only in 5th grade, so we're still in the elementary level. But again, I do want to reiterate the fact that the reason why I'm running is because I want to serve, I want to support, I want to help in any way that I can.
Thank you. Ms. Whitaker?
All right, but I just want to thank you all for being here. The students, I got the AP class in here. It was you all that made me nervous. I didn't know what kind of questions you were going to come up with, but they were good. So I appreciate the time. As I said, I'm a Nashua resident through and through. Nashua High, Panthers, go Panthers. And when you get home, ask your parents to vote for me, Kim Whitaker.
Thank you all for your responses. That concludes our candidate forum for the Board of Education. We would like to thank all of the candidates and students for their participation today. We would also like to wish good luck to all of the candidates in their upcoming elections.
We hope that this forum has helped you make a more informed decision as you vote for Board of Education candidates this November. Thank you for watching.